Ashley, how's it going, man?
Can you hear me?
I can.
No?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Oh,
I can hear you, but you can't hear me.
oh, there you go. Perfect. Sorry, I'm living a dream here, buddy.
I hear you, man. Now, where are you?
Right now?
You're on the East Coast up in Canada, right?
Yeah, I'm in Ontario.
Oh, you are? How far are you from Toronto?
About a half an hour, 2 hours if there's traffic.
What are you like northeast, northwest? What are you?
I'm west. So between I'd say between Toronto and Hamilton.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I'm in our Buffalo office. Did you know that?
Oh, okay, no.
Yeah.
So you're not too far.
So let's meet in Toronto for a cup of coffee.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool.
Perfect.
I really appreciate you taking the time. I'm just going to ask you something we can improve, a couple things maybe you enjoyed, and then if you have any questions for me, just confidential questions about leadership or sales or personality or anything at all, then we can do that if you want to.
Gotcha. Cool.
Cool. Anything in particular that you're like, man, yeah, I would have liked to have seen this in the course, or this could be improved. This would be an improvement.
The only thing it got me was your section, and it was just based on like should have it printed here. I just got back to do it. And I believe there's a lot of value in it, to be honest with you. I really do. That's the assessment, right? The intelligence.
Yeah, yeah, the assessment.
I did find a little bit confusing, like when I'm down, okay, I'll circle this side and do that. So I got to watch your video again. Um, but if there's something there that was more interactive, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? If you could drag that dial over, if you can put a number to it, right? And then at the end, it will give you a final score. And then with that final score, you could determine, okay, is this guy suited more for inside or outside sales or not sales at all? I don't know if that, and I know there's tools out there like that.
Yeah.
I've never used them, but
Okay. I appreciate you a lot telling me this. So let me tell you what we're struggling with and see if you have any counsel. So in the past, I always have the individual, like the sales managers in this case, take the assessment themselves, right? Because
yep,
then
I did that actually.
Oh,
Yep.
did you?
Yeah, I
But
did. I did. I went before we went and did the course. I did do it, and you know what? It's good that way. I'm just trying to determine, like, if I'm working with a new hire or a potential hire, how I can use it better.
so I
Like,
wonder, what if okay, listen, here's something I could have done. I could have
yep,
given you guys the assessment. It's a 20-minute online survey. And
yep,
you could have taken it yourself, or you could answer the questions to the best of your ability for a current salesperson or somebody you're thinking of hiring. What do you think about that? Would that have helped? Like take the 20 minutes and actually take the assessment and then get real results back? Would that be helpful?
yeah. I think so. I get some feedback on that as well. It might shock some people.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
because I'm very like, yeah, I'm sales, but I'm also very heavy on the customer service side of it. I've always been, but I did work customer service at one point, right?
yep, yep.
So
So let me
what
ask you.
module?
So if we were to do that with the future cohorts, what would
Yep.
you recommend? Would you rather me say, hey, answer it for yourself, and we'll talk about your profile, or would you rather say, hey, no, me answer it for one of my salespeople that I'm having a difficult time working with, or that I want to groom and help them to succeed? What would be better? Or leave them the option either way.
I think if they're being truthful with it itself, who knows yourself better than yourself? You know what I mean? As
Yep.
opposed to if you do it for somebody else and you're not understanding it fully, are you going to get the right, message back?
Yep.
I think more on yourself for sure. I think that's not a bad thing. Do the self-assessment, send it back, not lead into what it really entails, like the depth of that section,
Yep.
and then review it. I think that's not a bad idea.
And what I could do one of two things. I give them the whole report, which is 5 pages. There's 5 systems. There's 5 pages, and each page has about 4 to 6 sub traits, right? So there's a bunch of sub
Yeah.
traits. I could either give them that, the full report, or I could give them a condensed version with just the 5 systems, 5 bars, one summary. What would you recommend? Do it simple, or give them a sophisticated instrument that gives them a lot of data?
I think more depth. I do.
Excellent.
Yeah, I really do. I think that's required.
Ashley, I really appreciate this because Dave and I are really struggling with this, right?
Yeah.
Because usually somebody would take the assessment themselves, but in this case, we're helping you guys manage your team and hire and fire. So we're like, it doesn't really work. We're not trying to coach you on your profile. We're trying to help you use a profile to know better how
Yep.
to hire and lead. So this is really valuable. I really
But
appreciate
to
that.
understand it yourself, I mean, when you do it on yourself, then I think you have a better understanding. No, I did do that. I'm just looking through my pages here because I'd love to run through it with you.
I'll
But
tell you what. Yeah,
I just
well, I'll tell
hired
you what. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do this. Let me do these couple questions and let's come back to it.
all right, sounds good.
So, all right. So great. I appreciate that. So what about, what are a couple things that maybe, 2 or 3 takeaways, things that were very valuable for you or very, that you really enjoyed about the course?
Well, I think repetition equals retention. So a part of what I've gotten through the course was repetition. It was stuff that I've learned over the years. Maybe I've put it back here, and maybe it's more, I'm doing it naturally now as opposed to before. I'm more aware. I like some of that. Not all of it's repetition. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot to take from the course. I think overall, my overall feeling is it's very well rounded. There's a lot there that I wasn't expecting. I mean, I made a couple notes, like from goal setting to accountability, development and training, right? Like coaching, hiring salespeople. As I was going through this, I was in the processes of many of those things. I was trying to drive. I've always done planning, account plan, always, and I've had some success in my life, some fortune too, I'm sure. What I found most often was a lot of people are blind out there. They're not doing these kind of things. And what I've been trying to push was 30, 60, 90-day plans, right? I always go in quarters. Okay, what are you going to do? I don't care if you do the 90-day plans in the 30 or vice. I don't care. Whatever way it works out. I just want to know that you got goal sets for the next 3 months, right? And now they're implementing it, which I'm going to piss off a lot of reps, a lot of colleagues. Oh, for sure. Because I had a meeting with some of the head guys last week, and they're implementing it on Salesforce now. Because I used to do it on an Excel spreadsheet, send it out to the guys. Here's what it is.
Yep.
And they asked me, they go, "Do you do this all the time?" I said, "Yeah, I've always done it." And they go, "For all accounts?" And I said, "Well, yeah, if they're an account, you should do an extra. If it's, I'm going to close them, if it's, I'm going to prospect the area, yeah, every single account. Like, what's the sense of just doing it for your top accounts?
Yeah.
Right? You want to grow your whole thing."
Yeah.
So that they're implementing that for sure. After I'm in Vancouver next week. So when I get back, I'm going to start implementing the one-on-one sales meetings. I got to get that going. I love that idea. I took that from this here, and his form and what he's done. I tweaked it. I got my own little form now, to a degree.
Excellent.
But same results. So I'm really excited about that. What else is there? Hiring salespeople. Well, again, I was in the process of that. I'm not sure if I hired the right salesperson.
Got you.
Already.
How long ago?
A week.
Got you.
Yeah, no, that was in a process for the last month or so.
Mhm.
So he came on board. First week, he was late 3 times.
Not a good
Yeah,
start.
that's not a good sign. And then we worked all week in setting up a home show. And there was long hours, don't get me wrong. And I got back and I said, okay, well, I got to give this guy a call now. I think it was on a Tuesday, whatever day it was, when we finished up Monday. Got to give him a call because I had to reschedule my appointments for the following day to bring him out to introduce him to some of these new accounts that I'm giving up. And I couldn't get through to him. A couple hours go by. Try again. Like I've tried. Anyway, finally get through to him, say, listen, guy's name's Scott. I said, listen, are you busy? I'm pissed now. I'm trying to hold it back. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm working day and night. I'm working every night until 10:30. I kid you not. My wife's very supportive, and I know it's got to stop because I'm not going to enjoy what I'm doing. So I hired a guy to help me in my field, in my territory, so I don't give up on my accounts. I've given up a chunk of my accounts, and I hired another guy for another territory where, so I've got a lot of things happening right now. So I was kind of pissed. I said, "Are you busy?" "What?" "No, I'm asking, are you busy?" "I'm just, well, I said, "Well, no, I really don't know. I want to know, are you busy?" And he says, "To be honest with you," I said, "Well, I appreciate." Yeah, he goes, I fell asleep. And I'm like, "All right, listen." I said, "You know what?" I said, "In all fairness, we worked very hard this weekend, and thank you for being honest. I mean, that's key." I said, "But here's the thing: you've been late 3 times this week, two of which you didn't call me. The third one you called me, you were 45 minutes late. You may not think 5 minutes or 10 minutes is late, but it's late." I said, "If you're 5 minutes or 10 minutes late for an airline, you're late." So, anyway, and I said, as far as falling asleep, I mean, that's, hey, listen, I understand we probably exhausted. You've been on holidays for the last number of weeks from leaving your other position, and I let it go. And then I was talking to one of my colleagues, and he go, "Ash, none of us fell asleep. And we were all there working as hard, if not harder." I'm like, "Oh, God." And this is a junior guy that's watching this, right? I'm like, shit. Anyway, that's a new guy I hired. We'll see if I can mold him.
Yeah, it's tough because, you know, uh, who knows? Maybe he's got an addiction. Maybe he just had a death in the family. Maybe he just got a horrible diagnosis. Who knows what's going on? But in a behavioral interview, or in any assessment, if there's character flaws for whatever reason, maybe they're temporary character flaws. It's not something you can. Is that can happen. You can hire somebody
Yeah.
that's a good fit, but right now, for whatever reason, they have character deficiencies that, because I mean, even if he's disorganized and he's very spontaneous and he's absent-minded, I mean, not making him late 3 times in one week, that's a character deficiency,
First week. But is that something we can identify through the assessment tool?
No, well, in some respects. So let's say he has a tendency to be self-aggrandizing, narcissistic. We'll know that. Or the opposite. He has a tendency to have a low self-esteem and to be self-critical. We'll know that. Or he has a tendency to always answer the questions in the same direction. So there's certain things we can identify that are more approaching personality disorder. Those
Mhm.
things bipolar, narcissism, low esteem, and neuroticism. Those things we can identify through the assessment, but not if it's just character issues. That's something, unless you gave somebody a character assessment, and then it's very, very easy and tempting to lie in a character assessment. You know exactly what the questions are after, so it's a challenging thing. And
Gotcha.
I think the question for me, not to go on too much of a tangent, but the question for me is, is this temporary? Is there something situational in his life right now that just exploded that he's not telling me, and that this is a phase, or is this sort of a longer period of character issues? That's kind of the
That's
question.
what worries me. Yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
hoping that, just because when I told him, "Okay, I'll meet you in the office 8:30," I said, "You know what?" I said, "9 o'clock would be fine because I got a few things I got to catch up on." And he goes, "You know what? Yeah, yeah, no, that's for sure." He said, I'll target for a 8:45 at the latest." I said, "I appreciate that. Thank you." And he was there on time.
Did he show
So,
remorse?
yeah, he did actually. And that's the thing. My wife and I talked about it, right? And when we went out and traveled the next day, he goes, I'm sorry about that, right? Like I'm like, "Oh, well, I appreciate you bringing it up." Because I was going to bring it up again. I was just going to leave it alone. And that's not my style, by the way. I'm on it. If I'm on it, I'm on it. But I gotta have more empathy. I got that from the servant leadership, right?
Yep.
And from my upper management, not a no, we're not. I know we're not all built the same. Don't get me wrong, right? But there's things that I think everybody should be, and that's punctual.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think, and if you're not going to make it on time, at least a 5, 10, 15 minute alert prior to you're not going to make it on time. Because at that point you should know. I think that response to emails and things like that, and that's what I drove home with this guy is We need it in 24, no later than 48 hours. I do not want our team to create more work for our customer service or any other team member.
Yeah.
And that's an issue I'm having with another colleague who came from the same company.
Yep. Yep.
Both of them came from the same company.
Interesting. Yeah. So there could be a whole, a particular work ethic in that culture, perhaps that just, is not a good work ethic.
Well, I used to work at that company as well years ago, and I resigned and I took a huge pay cut based on ethics behind the scenes.
Got you.
And I got called back by the executives. They asked if it was money. I said, money. I just took a huge pay cut. I said, if that's going to be, if that's going to be okay, that's coming from the top, and I'm not okay with that, right? So I left, and it was internal ethics about stealing, like reps stealing from other reps. And that's not cool, man. I want to give everybody credit for what they've earned.
Right.
So I left, and but in a short period of time I was there, I've over doubled our sales.
Wow.
And then I had so much more on the works before I resigned, and I got threatened with lawyers if I should try to take that business. And most recently, they've sent me a headhunter reached out to me twice now for a management position. What is the manager? It was just the other week. It's for all Canada, all US.
Wow.
No, all Canada. Sorry.
Wow.
So anyway, I of course declined. Anyway, so yeah, that's where these two guys come from, and now I'm worried that that's a part of their culture. They were there.
Yeah,
14,
but you know what? If that's all it is, then it's a matter of just realigning, because that doesn't mean it's his personal values.
Yeah.
That would be the best case scenario.
No, I'm talking about them hiding. They're able to hide from management because the way it was structured and so much, you know what I mean? They can't hide from.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
But then it's a matter of exposure to you and others in your company, and saying, hey, no, it's not okay to be late. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully you got it now. So,
and this is a team.
Right. So let me ask you if I can just sort of recap. I think what I heard you say, that primarily the value of the course, or part of the value of the course, was these systems and structures and templates that you're able to practically take from Dave's training and implement them into your own company, your own management. Is that a fair synopsis?
100%. And there's some assessment tools I'm going to be doing it as well. I'm going to be doing yours again, to be quite honest with you. I've been, and I'm not trying to make up an excuse. I'm going day and night, man. And
yep. Well, you know what? Then I'll send you the link. I'll send you the actual assessment. You can actually take the assessment, and then I'll give you a real report back on yourself. All right.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's something there that I like to do, especially for hiring people. I gotta do something. I gotta really make sure I do that right. I'm worried, man, because it's a lot of my time. I'm busy as hell.